Good morning, Keller Williams, and welcome back to the KW Command 66-Day Challenge 8.0, and today is day 44. So we remain in the Designs applet today with one more day of print-based training. Today I'm going to show you how you can create and or edit a buyer or listing presentation using KW Command Designs. So let's dive into our Designs applet. We know it's our paintbrush icon here on the left-hand side. And our designs library is slowly growing as we introduce all of these different templates. So once again, we still have our flyer. Now we've got our postcard, our video, and today we're going to create a new design, still in print assets, but I wanted to introduce you to both the buyer and listing presentations, which are multi-page design templates that are available in our library. So when the library loads, we'll have two subcategories. We'll have a buyer-based and a listing-based. So if you look at the listings category, we've got a listing presentation subcategory. And we've actually got 5 different styles of templates here that you can utilize as your listing presentation template. One thing just sort of to take note, if you're using your own printer, just know that this guy uses up a whole lot of black ink, a lot of solid black pages in this specific template. So it's a great template, but if you're printing on your own dime, maybe look at one of the other 4, right? Just as a heads up. So we can see that these are multi-page because it actually says 9+ up here in the top left-hand corner. But as I hover over the template, you can see it starts to pull through all of the different pages that are available inside of this template. So I'm just going to utilize this first one. I'm going to click on Use, and it's going to open up that template for us. And from here, we can start sort of scrolling through and taking a look at what's included, and then realize what we need to edit and what pages we may need to possibly remove. So remember, if there are multi-pages down here at the bottom right, you're going to see all of those pages. So you can see this listing presentation is actually 29 pages. So if I click on that, we'll start to see all of the pages listed here on the right-hand side. Now, obviously, this first page, I'm not going to use this page actually in my template. There's no need to print it. There's no need really to save it as far as this goes. So I can come over here to the pages, click on the 3 dots, and I can actually delete that page. It's going to say, hey, do you want to delete design number 1? I'm going to say yes, I don't need that page. If we go to page 2, you can see that this page, we'll zoom in here a little bit, is basically just sort of an instructions page. It walks you through, hey, this content is meant to be customized. Feel free to delete anything, carefully review all of the written content so you are aware of which sections require your customization. If you neglect to do so, 1, you won't have personalized branding. 2, the presentation will not be accurate. In sections where numbers such as units sold or closed volume are included, feel free to choose your best value story. So whether those are your numbers, the numbers of your market center, or the numbers of Keller Williams Realty International, you can sort of decide which numbers you want to use when telling that story. So we're going to go ahead and delete out this page, which we do not need now. We kind of get the gist. So we'll delete there. Now we start getting into some of the pages that we need to edit. So you can see, right, this is a custom consultation, exclusively prepared for, and then client name. Now on this page, I'm going to have to go in and change out my headshot. I'm going to change out my first and last name, my website, my email address. You can see, right, all of the things that are down here at the bottom. All of this will need to be changed. This is my team logo. If I have a team, I'd want to change that out. Of course, my market center logo. But here's the cool part. Once I change everything on this page, if I have another listing come up, I can choose to just make edits to the one I already previously edited, right? So I'm going to save this maybe as my template. And then, at least on this page, all I would have to change would be the client name. So I don't have to go in every single time. I'll show you in just a second how you can make a copy of a design that you've already created. And you may want to go through on this template and go ahead and make changes to everything that is not property specific. So what I mean by that is go through and make changes to everything that just talks about you, about Keller Williams, about your brokerage, etc., but don't do any of the property specific items. Then save that as your kind of blank listing presentation template, such that then you can make a copy of that moving forward and only make adjustments to the property specific pages. If we go down to page 2, right, so you can see this one doesn't really need any customization. This is just sort of a, hey, table of contents, this is what we're going to talk about. Page 3, then we get into property specific items. So maybe we don't make edits to this to start. We save our template, then we come back in and start making edits to the property. Page 4, you can see we've got some market updates, some market information. Remember, if this market snap is not available or isn't accurate, you can always hover over it and just delete it out. In that case, you're going to get a box here. We can just remove that box as well, and then we get down to just the red and white. Remember, these are all kind of property specific items, so you do need to come down page by page and make edits to anything that impact the specific property. We'll get into a page on comps here, so you can decide to load in the pictures of the comps, the addresses of the comps, and then all of the information about each one of the comps that you have selected. So another page that would require editing. But then we start getting into some of the actual listing presentation part, where you start to talk about your value proposition, kind of having some questionnaires that go with, finding out the needs analysis of your sellers. These are some great questions here, and obviously you can add to those, subtract to those, make edits to those. Next up, you have your listing presentation process. I would definitely make sure that you go through this and make sure that this is accurate in your market. Sometimes we have attorney review states, sometimes we don't have attorney review states. That's just an example. So modifying this process to make sure, right, you can see it says begin attorney review on this page. In Texas, we don't have attorney review. So I would want to come in and change out this checklist and remove that item and sort of, move everything else up or add another checklist item. You're going to do this page by page by page. So going through the custom marketing plan, there's some statistics in here, making sure that you are going to deliver on all of the promises that you make. So here's the media plan. If you don't intend to do all of this, you better come in here and remove the items that you don't intend to do. What's better is there's additional items. Maybe you're not going to do Facebook ads, but we just released TikTok. So maybe you're going to do TikTok based ads. You would want to make sure you come in and make changes to this as well. Now, this is one of those pages, assuming that you do the same media marketing plan for every listing, that you could make changes to one time and then continue to use that same page for every presentation. Bottom line is, the first time you come in here and make edits, you're probably going to make a lot of them. I would time block a decent amount of time to edit this listing presentation the first time. However, from there, we're just going to keep loading the same one that we've been using and then roll from there. So let's just say that we've gone through all of the 27 pages that are still remaining. I've made all of the edits, everything that pertains to me, my market center, my market, KWI, etc. I'm going to come up here and save this now as listing presentation template blank, right? I'm just going to do listing presentation dash blank. All right, so we're going to rename it, and now you can see it's saved. I'm going to just double check, make sure. I'm going to save it one more time. Better to have it saved twice than it not actually get saved. So we're going to click on done. And now this should take us back to our design library. So you're going to see now inside of our design library, we now have our listing presentation blank. Well, now it's time to make a copy and start adding specific property information. So I will always have a copy that's listing presentation blank, but then if I click on the 3 dots, I can make a copy. And you'll see shortly it'll add a new design asset that will say copy of listing presentation. Now I can hover over, right, and I'm going to click on it, and it'll open up, and this is where we can go in and begin to make changes that are property specific for the actual listing that I'm about to go on. So I would go in and I would change the client name, I would change the photos if I have any photos of the property, I would add in all the comps, and then I can come up here to the top and I might say that this is listing presentation, and this was 2422 Fawn Lake Circle. All right, so now if we save that, and again, I'm just always a double saver, so make sure it really gets saved. And then I can click on done. Now let's watch what happens inside of our designs library. I now still have my template. So here's my listing presentation blank. For some reason it made 2 copies of it, so that's okay. I can show you how to delete if you get an extra in here. So we got 2 somehow. We're just going to click on the 3 dots. We're going to delete one of them. Don't need that one. Now we've got our listing presentation blank, and then the one that we're going to use for 2422 Fawn Lake. So I could choose from this point forward to just continue to make a copy of this blank listing presentation and then make edits to it that are property specific, but all the hard work I did the first time to change out all of my info remains saved inside of Command. That's it for today, guys. We do have a buyer's presentation as well, very similar to the listing presentation. Check that one out as well. You're going to make edits to it to match what you do for your buyers, and then you would have a solid, well-designed, professional-looking listing presentation and buyer presentation at your fingertips. Hope everyone's having a fantastic day, and as always, I'll look forward to talking to you again real soon.